Try not to get midges in my tea. It's about 8:30 now. And I'm just finished having something to eat. Sorry I didn't film it. I'm just conserving battery. And it wasn't much, to be honest. It wasn't anything special. And now I'm going to go to bed in about half an hour, or I'm going to go to sleep, or try and go to sleep, or just lay in the tent in about half an hour and get out of the way of these midges that are all over the place. But I'm just going to chill in now. There are sheep around, you can probably hear them. A few have walked past, but I don't think they want to get too close. No doubt they'll wake me up in the morning. But I plan to be out and packed up before 7 o'clock tomorrow. Before 7 AM I want to be gone. I think it's going to rain tonight. I think it'll probably be a wet morning, but I'm just going to pack up anyway and go. Right now I'm just enjoying some tea, just some English breakfast tea at 9 o'clock in the night. Probably go into better secluded and get some breakfast. I think I'm not going to cook breakfast tomorrow. It's just, I just want to be up and out. You know, I've been here for, I got here a lot earlier than I normally would. I got here at about 5 o'clock. So normally I get here a bit later, about 7, in the summer anyway, and it gets dark. And then just pitch the tent, sleep. Then as soon as I get up in the morning, pack the tent away and go. But I just wanted to take in some of the silence and the peace, because for me, this is what it's all about. It's about, I don't know, it's about like nobody in sight, you know, no one around, and you feel vulnerable. Like I know that sounds weird, because why would you want to put yourself in a purposely vulnerable position? But of course, while camping in the middle of Snowdonia, in the mountains, 600-700 meters above sea level, there's nobody for miles, there's no roads for miles. I am in a vulnerable position. But there's something invigorating about that. There's something I love about it. I just love having to think through fending for myself in these environments. I've always kind of like thought, wouldn't it be amazing if, you know, you could go off grid and live off grid and not have to worry about anyone else providing for you. You know, we take it for granted that we've just got supermarkets, or, you know, across the road or down the street or the other side of town, and if you need something, you can get it in this world now. You can get things. I mean, you can go on Amazon and have something the same day, or you can get it the following day. You know, we live in an economy, in a world where we can have straight away, and it's quite difficult, I think, to kind of break yourself out of that habit, because I think camping for me is all about having to wait. You know, I know we buy things to kind of to make our lives easier and speed things up. But there's something about things like this candle lantern. I mean, these have been around for hundreds of years, lanterns. And at one point it was the only way. It was the only way people had to light up their homes. And for me, I just love that. I love looking at candles, and I know it's not instant like an electric light, but it's just so warming and so soothing. You know, when you put a fire on and you wait for the fire to get going, and the other thing I really, really like, one of the other main reasons I do this, is just to try and disconnect as well. Okay, so I just thought I'd take the opportunity to talk about some of the things that I take with me as must-haves when I'm wild camping. Because actually, camping on your own is extremely daunting, even for me. I mean, I've done it loads of times, quite a few times, but there's always part of me which is nervous, worried, and a little bit anxious, because I'm a naturally very anxious person, and depending on the states of anxiety that I find myself in on a day-to-day basis can depend on how much I enjoy the trip. Personally, I find wild camping quite exhilarating. I find it quite, there's something that awakens in me, like the danger of it, and I know it isn't something that you should do strictly in the UK. It is technically illegal, but I'm very much in the camp of, you know, if you wild camp, you leave no trace at all whatsoever when you leave, and no one would ever know you've even been there. And you know, it's 7 o'clock now. I've only just put the tent up. The sun has gone down behind the hills and mountains, and literally at 6:30 a.m. I'll be up, I'll be gone by 7, and I'll be walking back. So I shouldn't really be bothering people. But a few things that I definitely take with me whenever I'm walking long distances or wild camping. This tent I've used lots and lots of times. I do look after it. It's the Melynllyn 200. As you can probably see, it's perfect for one person and gear. I'm not going to talk about the tent though. So the first thing that I consider whenever I'm wild camping is the type of sleeping bag that I'm using, and the sleeping mat. Now this is the Thermarest Neo Air X Lite. They're quite expensive, but actually I've had a few instances recently where I've been camping on Vango foam mats, and it was a 3.5 centimeter foam mat, and it just wasn't cutting it. It was quite it was just cold, even in relatively warm nights. Now I've camped with this once or twice, and you just get none of that. And the good thing about this, it's got a new air valve, so if it goes down in the middle of the night, all I have to do is blow into that. Air won't come back out, it will stay in, and then when I want to let it down, I twist this nozzle here this way and it lets down automatically. All right, see, I blow it up, nothing comes back out. So it's a really, really good system. I think these are new on some of these newer mats. Some people complain that it's quite crinkly. The reason why is because it has like a triangular system inside to help with thermal efficiency of the mat. But actually this has an R rating of, I think, 4.2, which basically means that you can use this down in temperatures, ground temperatures below 0, sort of -1. And you'll still be warm. It will reflect your body heat back towards you. So yeah, this is perfect for me. It's about 188 centimeters long, and it packs up really small. And when I mean really small, I mean that big, that round. It's light as well. It packs up really small, and it's really easy. You know, with the foam ones, it takes ages to try and sort of get them down to the right side, and then when you get them in the bag, after about an hour, they've expanded. So I'm not really going back to these. I think this is a really good investment, and personally I think being warm is the best possible, is the best for me. This really cheap. Again, this packs down really small. This is a 4-class camping pillow. I got this from Decathlon. This was about £2.99, really cheap. You can use your jumpers and jackets and things like that, but I don't know, I just use this. It's really nice. And this is an OEX Evolution 200 sleeping bag. It's not going to get down below 15 degrees tonight. Even here, I mean, we're only 634 meters above sea level. We're by a lake. We're in a very sheltered environment, so it's going to be quite warm. We're expecting a little bit of rain, but with the heat, thermal efficiency of this mat and this, I think this is comfort down to about 8 degrees. And for men, obviously, we can take a little bit lower, but it's quite nice. And it, again, it packs really small, so that big, that long. All right, so for wild camping and for putting everything in your backpack is great. The other thing that I do like to have with me is this and this. So this is a Swiss Army knife. This has got 55 different features to it. There's a lot. It's even got a magnifying glass, so there's lots and lots in this. It's got a toothpick as well. It's got some tweezers. It's got scissors, nail files. It's got a little saw, little branches and little twigs down. But I always keep this literally right next to my bed. This is I've used this before. I use this a lot when I'm just in my day trips in the forest, or this is a Melynllyn Swiss-made utility knife. Relatively cheap. I think it's about 20 quid. But I do sharpen it, and but it works really well. It's nice and light, and again, yeah, I like to keep these around me for obvious reasons, purely just for safety. You never know. You never know. So yeah, actually today I'm just packing really light. In my bag I've got some thermals, a thermal top and some thermal trousers, some merino wool thermal trousers. They're the same thermal stuff that I wear for skiing, but the thing about merino wool is I've got some Helly Hansen ones. They're really breathable. They work really well. The other thing that I use is this. This is a Yuko candle lantern. I've got beeswax in there as well, so that's quite good for insects. It smells really nice. Gives off a nice warm glow, a little bit of heat, and this is the only form of light that I have. This works really well. I like it a lot, and you can hang it there. I would never leave it on overnight, but when I'm in here just kind of chilling, I can hang it there and it'll glow the tent up really well, and we'll have a look at that later. This obviously is my Grail water bottle, so this is my water purification system, so I can get water from the lake and cook with. And then I've got a spork here as well. And lastly, I've got my mug for tea and coffee. And I'm actually resting my GoPro on my Coleman Firestorm cooking system, which is just normal bottled gas. Boils a litre of water in 4 minutes on maximum, and the gas tends to last ages. So yeah, that's it. I do try to pack quite light when I'm wild camping, because there's nothing worse than taking ages to pack up at the end of the day. Okay, so I've just woke up. It's 6:45, so it's a little bit later than I said I would. I'm hoping now just to get the camp cleared, everything packed away. But I just wanted to show you just what it's like outside, because we've had a little bit of rain overnight. That's not a problem. But if you want to really see an example of bleak, let's just show you this. So there we go. Visibility down to about 40 meters. It will lift, but wow, that is bleak, really bleak. So all packed up, walking back now. Probably take about 2 hours of trekking to get back to where I need to be. That gives me enough time then to be able to find some sort of cafe, go in, chill out, sit down, cup of coffee or tea. Because on this occasion I didn't want to do that here. I'm not too keen on breakfast, like those big extended breakfasts when wild camping, especially places like this. You know, I'm fully aware that people like to walk early, and I don't really want to be seeing, I've already heard people walking around, and I really don't want to be kind of cooking and creating smoke, and then it's extra weight and stuff like that. So you know, just gonna walk all the way back now. To be honest, it's going to be a lot easier, or it is a lot easier getting back. It's just pretty much all downhill. You know, I'm going down back into the civilization of roads and things like that. But it's been a good experience today. It's been a super quiet one. When the weather's like this, you really do feel like you are literally stranded in the middle of nowhere. But thankfully there's not much trekking that needs to happen, or mountaineering, or I'm just on a track, and this track will take me all the way back to where I need to be. So there's not really much else that's worth seeing, to be honest. I'm going to try and do this as quickly as I can, picking up some water along the way. And yeah, it's been a nice one. I had a good sleep, really quiet, and an early start. So I will see you on the next one, whenever the next one will be.